So I was talking to one of my coworkers the other day just about life, and we were talking about how there are so many things we wish we would have known in high school that no one ever told us about. And these are things that would have saved us thousands of hours and lots of money. And that really inspired me to make this video. So I want to share the 5 most important things that every teenager should know to prepare yourself for life in your 20s. Also, this channel is all about practical self-improvement to help you live an easier life. So if that's something you're interested in, please subscribe. So number 1 is a little bit harsh, but it's true, which is that nobody cares about you. One of my favorite quotes is that you would care so much less about what they thought of you if you realized how little they did. Which is basically saying that no one's really thinking of you, so stop worrying so much about what they're thinking. People are way too caught up in their day-to-day lives and problems to care about your issues. They literally don't have the time and energy to do it even if they wanted to. The only people who really care about you are your parents, but if you think about it, that's sort of just your parents thinking about themselves, because you really are your parents. You know, you're 50% of your mom and you're 50% of your dad's DNA. So when your parents are caring about you, they're actually just kind of thinking about themselves. So you can think of this positively or negatively. The negative way would be thinking that it's really sad and lonely that no one thinks about you or cares about you. But I prefer the positive way, which is thinking that since nobody cares about me anyway, I might as well do whatever I want and not worry about being judged. Even if your goals are something that society or your friends or family or even random strangers don't agree with, it doesn't really matter because no one's going to be caring about you anyway, so might as well just go for it. If it brings you fulfillment and isn't hurting anyone, then just do it anyway. You're the one who has to live with your own life at the end of the day. You know, you're dealing with the consequences of your actions, not anyone else. And that actually brings me to my second point. So the second important thing for every teenager to know is that you need to not blame other people or other things for your failures. Excuses provide short-term relief, but long-term suffering and disappointment. You and no one else are responsible for producing the results you want to see. You know, even if there is some external force that's hindering you from achieving your goals, it's not helpful to dwell on it and complain about it. Just do whatever you can to minimize that effect and then move on. It's human nature, you know, our ego and our insecurities try to get us to blame everything and everyone else for our failures as a form of self-defense. But in reality, that only harms you and robs you of your power and freedom. You know, it's a lot more empowering to think that you're the one who's in control of your life and of the results, rather than relinquishing the power to something or someone else and saying that they're the reason why you're not succeeding. Even if it's not true that you're in 100% control, honestly, just be delusional and tell yourself that you are anyway. It's a much more productive line of thinking than focusing on all the negative things that could influence you or stop you. The third thing is that physical appearance matters a lot. It's not fair, but it's true. The first thing that people see when they look at you is your appearance, and they're going to automatically make judgments about you, whether they try to or not, no matter how unbiased people think they are. It's just human nature to do that, because back in caveman times, we had to make quick judgments about people and determine whether they were threats or enemies or friends. But that being said, I'm not saying that you should try to conform to society's beauty standards, because those are sort of arbitrary and change all the time. What I'm saying is you should try to look your best. That means trimming or taking care of your facial hair, taking good care of your hair, wearing clothes that fit you, changing your posture, you know, things that anyone can do no matter how attractive or unattractive you think you are. If you do those things, it'll help you in every facet of life, like getting job interviews, meeting new friends, and just socializing in general. Pretty privilege is 100% a real thing, and people definitely treat people who are more attractive better than people who are unattractive. For example, if you're really loud but you're attractive, people see that as confident. But if you're really loud and you're unattractive, people see that as annoying. Or if you're really loud and you're quiet, people see it as mysterious and interesting. But if you're really quiet and you're unattractive, people think that you're weird and creepy. I mean, you can go on and keep doing this for like 100 different adjectives. The point is that people will always interpret you more favorably if you look better. Alright, the fourth thing that every teenager should know before they get into their 20s is that you should not argue with people. Just stop arguing with people. Honestly, you can't change people's mind these days. It doesn't matter how much evidence or proof you present to someone. People are just too stubborn or too egotistical to change their mind about something. You know, if you make your point, people will say that you have no proof, and then once you bring proof to them, they'll just doubt that the proof is reliable. Nobody wants to admit that they're wrong, so why waste your energy arguing with them? It's honestly better to just pretend that you agree and move on with your life. You get literally nothing out of arguing with people other than being tired and worsening your relationship with them. I can't tell you how many times I've shown people proof that disproves what they're saying and they just continue to argue anyway. I guess the exception would be if someone's saying something rude or harmful about you or someone you care about, then you should stick up for that person or for yourself and not let them cross your boundaries. Otherwise, just don't waste your energy. You need to save your time and energy for things that actually matter and benefit your life. Which brings me to number 5, which is you need to understand how limited your time is. There's a reason people have this saying, spending time, and that's because it's literal. Nobody knows how long they have to live. You could live to be 100 or 30, and you're constantly spending time that you can never get back. Plus, out of all the time you have in life, you spend a large chunk of it sleeping, eating, going to school, or working to pay your bills. If you subtract that from the amount of hours in your life and look at what you have left to work on your goals and your hobbies, there's really not much left. Also, all of the time in your life isn't equal. The younger you are, the more time and energy you have to focus on your goals, and the older you get, the harder it is to do that. And again, you can think of it negatively and think about how little time you have and be sad about that, but I like to use it in a positive way and use it as motivation to achieve your goals. Think about how little time you actually have to work on your goals and use that to motivate yourself when you're feeling lazy or unproductive. Start doing as much as you can right now while you're still young and have time. So I hope you found at least one of those useful. These are topics that I'm really passionate about, and I want you guys to use to work towards your goals. Also, I have a new posting schedule. It's every Thursday at 3 p.m. PST, so I'll see you next week.